The Ten Heavens Revealed, Enoch's Odyssey to the Divine Throne, Catholic Mystery. Welcome to Catholic Mystery, the channel dedicated to exploring the wonders, miracles, and mystical stories of the Catholic faith. Today, we invite you to embark on a profound spiritual journey, one that transcends the boundaries of the visible world. We will delve into the captivating story of Enoch, a man chosen by God to experience and reveal the great mysteries of the heavenly realms. In the silence of the night, Enoch is led by two mighty angels to witness and understand the different levels of heaven, where light and darkness, angels and fallen spirits coexist in an eternal divine order. Throughout this journey, Enoch traverses through scenes of celestial glory, where the choirs of angels sing in unison, and regions of terrifying gloom, where souls endure severe judgment. From the radiant brilliance of the stars to the awe-inspiring throne of God, Enoch not only sees but is forever transformed. Join us as we uncover this timeless story, a revelation of God's greatness and the mysteries that lie beyond human comprehension. Let's take a brief pause and leave your opinion in the comments. Do you believe in heaven? Do you think all of us have the potential to have elevation to come to heaven through divine grace? Please share your experiences and knowledge. Together we will have many different viewpoints. It was the first day of the month, and I found myself alone in my house, resting on my bed. As sleep overtook me, a vision unfolded that defied all reality. Out of the darkness appeared two men of colossal size, far greater than anything I had ever encountered on earth. Their faces shone with a brilliance that rivaled the midday sun, and their eyes gleamed like burning flames. From their lips, fire seemed to spill forth, illuminating the room in a surreal, ethereal glow. Their clothing was unlike any I had ever seen, shimmering in hues of purple, their wings brighter than the most polished gold, and their hands whiter than the purest snow. But it wasn't just their appearance that captivated me. Their very presence carried an otherworldly aura. The two men stood at the head of my bed, their eyes fixed on me as they called out my name. Startled, I awoke and rose from my sleep, finding them still standing before me. I saluted them, trying to mask my trembling fear, but I could feel the terror creeping over my face, twisting it into an expression of dread. Sensing my fear, the men spoke in gentle but commanding voices. "Have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. The eternal God has sent us to you, and today you shall ascend with us into heaven. You must share with your sons and household all that they must do in your absence. Let no one seek you until the Lord returns you to them." Without hesitation, I obeyed. I quickly left my house as instructed and made my way to the doors. I summoned my sons, Methuselah, Regem, and Gad, and told them all the marvels that had been revealed to me. As soon as I finished, the angels took me upon their wings, lifting me effortlessly from the ground. Together we ascended towards the heavens, passing through layers of clouds until we reached the first heaven. There, I looked around, and as I lifted my gaze, I saw the expanse of the ether stretching above. They placed me gently upon the clouds, and from this vantage point, I saw a vast sea, far greater than any ocean on earth. It was a sight so grand that I could hardly grasp its enormity. In this realm, the angels brought forth the elders and rulers of the celestial orders, introducing me to 200 angels who governed the stars. They explained their duties and showed me how these angels flew with their mighty wings, tirelessly circling above all who sailed the great waters below. As I continued to look around, my eyes fell upon something astonishing: the treasure houses of snow. These great storehouses were guarded by angels who oversaw the clouds, guiding them as they came and went. The angels showed me another treasure house, where the dew was stored. It was like the finest olive oil, and its form resembled all the flowers of the earth. The angels explained that these storehouses contained the elements and mysteries of creation, and many more angels guarded them, controlling their opening and closing with meticulous care. Next, the men led me up to the second heaven. Here, the scene shifted to one of foreboding darkness. Deeper and more suffocating than anything earthly. I saw prisoners hanging, suspended in torment, watched closely as they awaited the great and boundless judgment. These figures, who were once angels, had a darkness about them that was more intense than any earthly shadow. They wept incessantly, their cries echoing through the darkness, haunting every moment. Troubled by this sight, I turned to the men and asked, "Why are these souls tormented without end?" They answered, "These are God's apostates, those who disobeyed his commands and followed their own will. They turned away with their prince, who remains bound in the fifth heaven." After this somber revelation, the men took me higher still, leading me to the third heaven. As I looked down, I saw a place filled with an abundance of life and goodness that I had never known. There were sweet flowering trees with fruits that exuded the most pleasant fragrances, and foods that bubbled with fragrant aromas. At the center of this paradise stood the trees of life, where the Lord himself would rest when he ascended into this heavenly garden. This magnificent tree was adorned in golden and vermilion hues, radiating a fire-like brilliance. It produced all manner of fruits, and its roots stretched to the ends of the earth, linking the heavens to the mortal realm. Paradise lay between the forces of corruption and incorruptibility, marking it as a place of both purity and protection. From this garden flowed two springs, one of honey and milk, the other of oil and wine. These waters divided into 4 parts, each coursing quietly through the garden and descending into the paradise of Eden, where the balance between corruptibility and incorruptibility was maintained. As these waters continued their journey along the earth, they followed a set path, their movements as ordered as the other elements of creation. In this place every tree bore fruit, and every corner was blessed with abundance. 300 angels, dazzlingly bright, watched over this paradise, their sweet voices never ceasing as they sang praises to the Lord day and night. In this extraordinary experience, each step of my journey revealed the mysteries of the divine realm and the great order established by the eternal God. From the fear and wonder I felt upon waking to the 2 celestial beings, to my encounters with the heavenly realms, every moment deepened my understanding of the universe's grand design. These visions impressed upon me the importance of obedience, reverence, and the unwavering faith in divine will, as the cosmic order extended from the realms above down to the lives of men below. If you're passionate about the biblically accuration about the angels and other mystic stories, we invite you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Please hit the subscribe button and let's grow in faith together. The 2 men led me toward the northern side of the heavens, and what they showed me there was a place so dreadful, it defied words. As we approached, I was struck by an overwhelming sense of desolation, for this place was filled with all kinds of unimaginable torments. The darkness here was not like that of the earthly night. It was a cruel, suffocating blackness, unbroken by any natural light. Instead, there was a murky fire that burned constantly, flickering and licking the air like an angry, consuming beast. In this terrible gloom, I saw a river of fire flowing ceaselessly, its currents twisting and turning through the shadows, casting a hellish glow on everything around it. The entire region was engulfed in flames, and yet it was also plagued by frost and ice. The bitter cold seemed to slice through the flames, creating a place where fire and ice coexisted in an agonizing contradiction. The air was thick with the scent of burning and the chill of frost, and everywhere I looked, there was a feeling of thirst and relentless shivering. The bonds here were not mere chains. They were cruel restraints that seemed to gnaw at the very souls of those imprisoned. And there, amidst the torment, were angels, but not the kind one would expect. These were dark and fearsome, their expressions twisted by their role as merciless enforcers. They held angry weapons in their hands, ready to administer punishment without hesitation or compassion. In my horror, I cried out, "Whoa, whoa, how very terrible is this place?" The 2 men turned to me, their faces grave, and said, "This place, O Enoch, is prepared for those who dishonor God and practice wickedness upon the earth. Here are those who indulge in sins against nature, who commit the corruption of children, those who follow the forbidden arts of sodomitical magic, creating enchantments and devilish witchcrafts. These are the ones who boast of their wicked deeds, engaging in stealing, lies, slander, envy, rancor, fornication, and murder. They are the accursed, those who steal the very souls of men. The men continued, their voices steady. These are the ones who, seeing the poor, take away their goods and grow rich from others' misery. They injure others for their own gain, refusing to satisfy the hungry, even when they have the means to do so. They let the starving die and strip the clothes off the naked. They knew not their Creator, and instead worshipped lifeless gods, soulless idols who cannot see or hear. These vain gods were built by human hands, and yet these sinners bowed down to such unclean works. For all these deeds, this place is prepared as their eternal inheritance. From this grim revelation the men took me higher, leading me up to the fourth heaven. There, they showed me the intricate workings of the celestial bodies. I marveled as they revealed all the successive movements of the sun and moon. I watched in awe as their light radiated, and I measured their paths, observing that the light of the sun far surpassed that of the moon. The sun moved along its circle with wheels that seemed to turn like the wind, carrying it with marvelous speed, never resting day or night. As it traveled, 4 great stars accompanied it, each with 1,000 stars beneath it, aligned to the right and left of the sun's wheel. Altogether, there were 8,000 stars moving with the sun in a continuous procession. During the day, 15 myriads of angels attended the sun, guiding its journey across the heavens. By night, 1,000 six-winged angels accompanied it, leading it into the fiery flames, where other angels kindled the sun and set it alight. This heavenly choreography unfolded like an eternal dance, precise and magnificent beyond comprehension. Next, the men led me to the 5th heaven, and there I beheld a sight both majestic and melancholy. Countless soldiers stood in rows. These were the Grigori, angelic beings of human appearance, yet their size exceeded that of the greatest giants. Their faces were withered, their expressions lifeless, and their mouths sealed in perpetual silence. There was no sound of praise or service in this heaven, only a haunting stillness. I turned to the men and asked, "Why are these beings so withered, their faces so filled with sorrow, and their mouths so silent? And why is there no service in this heaven?" The men answered me, "These are the Grigori, who with their prince, Satan, rejected the Lord of Light. After their rebellion, they were cast into this darkness, and among them are those who are held in even greater darkness in the 2nd heaven. 3 of these Grigori descended to earth from the Lord's throne, lured by the daughters of men. They saw their beauty and took them as wives, defiling the earth with their actions. Throughout their time on earth, they sowed lawlessness and corruption, giving birth to giants and creating marvelous men who brought great enmity. Therefore, God judged them with a severe judgment, and now they weep for their fallen brethren, knowing the punishment that awaits them on the Lord's great day." From there, the men took me up to the 6th heaven, and my eyes were dazzled by the radiance of 7 bands of angels. They were so bright and glorious, their faces shining with a brilliance that surpassed even the sun. These angels were perfectly ordered, their appearance and behavior uniform, their manner of dress identical. I watched as they moved with grace and purpose, maintaining the celestial orders, learning the paths of the stars, the phases of the moon, the revolution of the sun, and the good governance of the world. When these angels saw wrongdoing, they issued commandments and gave instructions, filling the heavens with sweet and loud songs of praise. These, the men told me, are the archangels, who are above the angels. They measure all life in heaven and on earth, and oversee the angels who are appointed over seasons and years, over rivers and seas, over the fruits of the earth, and every blade of grass that gives sustenance to living things. They are the keepers of the records, writing all the souls of men, their deeds, and their lives before the Lord's face. Amidst them were 6 phoenixes, 6 cherubim, and 6 six-winged beings who sang continuously with one voice. Their song was beyond description, a melody that filled every corner of heaven with joy. The angels rejoiced unceasingly before the Lord at his footstool, serving him with unwavering devotion. This journey through the heavens opened my eyes to the vastness of God's creation and the divine order that governs all things. I was shown both the glory of the faithful and the fate of those who rebelled against the light. In every realm, there was a balance between the blessings of obedience and the consequences of disobedience, a grand design that encompassed all life, from the highest heavens to the earth below. The two celestial men took me higher still, lifting me onto the seventh heaven, and what I saw there was beyond comprehension, a radiant and overwhelming light emanating from countless beings. Fiery troops of great archangels stood in formidable formation, accompanied by incorporeal forces, dominions, and orders of celestial governments. Cherubim and seraphim surrounded the scene, their wings ablaze with divine radiance, while thrones and many-eyed ones moved silently in disciplined ranks. 9 great regiments filled the vast expanse, each belonging to the ion stations of light, their brilliance weaving a tapestry of awe and majesty across the seventh heaven. As I took in the splendor of these celestial hosts, I felt an all-encompassing fear seize me. My knees trembled, and my spirit quivered under the weight of the sight before me. The men sensed my terror and approached me, their voices gentle and reassuring. "Have courage, Enoch. Do not fear." They guided me forward and pointed to a figure in the distance. There, sitting on a throne higher than any earthly mountain, was the Lord himself. From afar, his presence alone was enough to instill in me both reverence and a deep, sacred fear. The men spoke again, answering my unspoken question, "For what is there on the 10th heaven? The Lord dwells there." In the Hebrew tongue, he is called Aravat. As they continued to speak, I saw the heavenly troops rise and descend the 10 steps that led to the throne, each taking their place according to their rank. They bowed low before the Lord, then returned to their stations in joy and contentment, their faces alight with felicity. The air was filled with the sweet and harmonious melodies of songs sung in boundless light, the voices small and tender, gloriously exalting him in service. From this 7th heaven, the men showed me the 8th heaven, known in the Hebrew tongue as Muoth, where the seasons of drought and wet are determined, and where the 12 constellations of the firmament are fixed in their courses. These constellations govern the cycles of time and life on earth below. Beyond this, I was led to the 9th heaven, called Kavim, which was the dwelling place of the 12 constellations. Each constellation resided in a heavenly home, serving as a testament to the order and harmony of the cosmos. Finally, I gazed into the 10th heaven, called Aravo, and it was here that I saw the Lord's face, an experience that words fail to describe. His face was like iron heated in a fierce fire, emitting sparks that glowed and danced in the air. His visage burned with an intensity that was both terrifying and beautiful, a marvel beyond all human understanding. I knew then that I was looking upon something ineffable, a being of such wonder and holiness that mere words could not capture it. Who was I, a mortal, to speak of his unspeakable nature, his wondrous countenance, and the many voices that issued forth his divine will? The Lord's throne was vast, and unlike anything crafted by human hands. Surrounding him were countless cherubim and seraphim, their voices never ceasing as they sang hymns of praise. Their song was eternal, blending seamlessly with the immutable beauty of the Lord's presence. I could not fathom the greatness of his glory nor the sheer multitude of those who worshipped around his throne. I felt myself collapse in reverence, bowing low before him. As I lay prostrate, the Lord spoke directly to me, his voice gentle yet firm. "Have courage, Enoch. Do not fear. Arise and stand before my face into eternity." The Archangel Michael approached, lifting me gently to my feet, and led me closer to the Lord's presence. The Lord addressed his servants, who listened intently as he spoke. "Let Enoch stand before my face into eternity." The gathered celestial beings bowed deeply, echoing the command, "Let Enoch go, according to your word." The Lord then instructed Michael, "Go and take Enoch out of his earthly garments and anoint him with my sweet ointment. Clothe him in the garments of my glory." Michael obeyed without hesitation, and as he anointed me, the ointment felt like a blessing beyond comprehension. It was more radiant than the greatest light I had ever seen, and its scent was like sweet dew, delicate and refreshing. It enveloped me, and as it did, my entire being was transformed. I looked at myself, and what I saw was no longer merely Enoch of earth, but a being radiant and resplendent, like the celestial hosts around me. I had been anointed with the glory of the Lord, and in that moment, I was made one of his glorious ones. Thank you for joining us on this journey through Catholic mystery, where we explored the profound and captivating story of Enoch, a story that reveals not just the splendor of heaven, but also the divine order that governs all creation. From the choirs of angels singing praises to God's throne to the shadows where justice and judgment dwell, Enoch's Odyssey is a powerful reminder of the eternal balance between light and darkness, grace and consequence. As we conclude, let us reflect on the mysteries unveiled in this journey and the divine truths they hold. Stories like Enoch's challenge us to look beyond the visible world and contemplate the wonders of faith, encouraging us to seek a deeper understanding of God's will and our place in his creation. If you found this journey enlightening, remember to like, share, and subscribe to Catholic Mystery for more stories that inspire and uplift the soul. Until next time, may your faith continue to lead you towards the mysteries of the divine. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, I encourage you to like the video. And if you are interested in content just like this, check out my playlist. I linked it here, so it's easier for you to access. God bless you all.